Uh-oh.
What did you uh-oh?
SDK shit the bed.
Uh-oh.
It just says not found. What?
Great.
Freaking kid. It was just working. And we're live and everything. Oh, I just had to refresh the cache for some reason. Okay. Well, that was a rocky start. Welcome to Six Sigma Road League. We're in the south of France at Le Mans for round number 7. The drivers are out on their first quali lap. They should be coming about halfway around. Oh, some of them have completed a lap, according to... That can't be right. I think they're all about halfway through. We're in the morning as normal. Nice, cool weather, 64 degrees. We're running the medium downforce set, so there should be some decent speed. We'll see how the drafting is going to play out. Let's go look at the non-results, because there aren't any yet. Who's the furthest on their lap? Supposedly Francis just finished his. I think that's a lie. I wonder if they had reset. Who's the furthest along? Morgan might be the furthest along.
Yeah, if they cross the line and reset, it counts the lap. So if they did it twice. Uh-oh.
Got Kay Mitchell in chat saying hey. All right, here comes Morgan across the line. Oh, and Richard immediately beats him out by 600 600ths. Super close for that long of a lap.
Sean shoots up.
Yeah, Sean comes in with a 56.81 or 8:07, I guess. Can we see? I know we can. Where's the button? It's in here somewhere. Ah, best time. There we go. So far we got Sean in first, and let's go have a look at Sean. He's driving the cool hand painted or hand drawn whatever Merc. It was a real life livery. Oh, and Skylar comes in just barely beating Brandon for second. We'll see if maybe this week is Skylar's week. He's had a lot of problems that weren't his fault. It seems like since he joined the league, been a lot of other accidents happening around him that he's just been a casualty of. Unfortunately for him, hasn't been his fault at all. Sean going down the long straight. Let's get the track map up here. Just ending the Mulsanne straight. Daniel McConnell popping up in P8 there. The 359.4, 480. Oh, you'd be interested in joining when you get your rig set up? Yeah. Yep, we are beginner friendly. And yeah, we have a sign-up sheet in the Discord there that whenever we have you can join anytime, but we currently have 2 weeks left. After this race, we have 2 weeks left in our season. And not sure when the next season starts, but you can hop in anytime. There's the curves. Are they the Porsche curves?
I believe the first ones are... No, the first ones are the Corvette curves. The second ones are the Porsche curves.
Oh, okay.
It's either way.
That could be. Whoa, Morgan with a 54.42.
Sean got close.
Sean with the 54.65. Ah, it's so close.
They've still got time for another one.
Over a 4-minute lap. That's insanely close.
Yeah, that's almost 9 miles. 9 miles down to a couple tenths.
Kay Mitchell said he hasn't raced in years, but he's done some GT7, Assetto Corsa, and some rally sims. A little bit of everything. Yeah, just join on in whenever you get your stuff set up.
Sean just hit the fastest sector 1. Morgan did the fastest sector 2. They're dead even.
I need to go to... I just kind of left the camera on Sean, not paying attention. Switch it up here. Have a look at Morgan. You're in Trenton. Well, we aren't actually in Canada as the We Who broadcast, anyways. We're just part of the admin team in Discord and for the league. It's just kind of casually sponsored by Six Sigma, I guess. I don't know how official it really is. It is their official Discord, but it's just for the it's really more for the racing leagues and stuff than for their business.
Sean dropped a purple sector 3. Sean is way up on Morgan this lap. About a second or so, maybe? No, not quite.
Morgan's definitely further through the lap, but I think he started earlier. Let's have a look at Chris real quick, who was able to place P3 in the pros with no rear wing last week. He had an absolutely wild drive at Rudskogen. Oh, he's coming to a stop. So he must be done, I guess. He didn't quite finish his third lap. It must have been worse or something, and he gave up. I'm not sure. Carrie and Andrew, Austin are done.
I think that Sean's made up the couple tenths that he needed.
We'll see. Morgan's about to come through the line here. And it takes 3/10 off, down to a 14, a 144. And Sean crosses the line with a 106, just barely sneaking that away.
I think that race control is lying to me because that lap, Morgan had 4 yellow sectors.
Huh.
It was big lying to me there.
Yeah, that would have had to been. Well, most everyone's finished up. We got 2 minutes left in quali. Let's see.
121 and
Chris is
73
there.
is still on track.
Daniel McConnell is still out on track. Even Daniel's in the Merc this week. See, Chris is finishing up his last lap. Brian Phillips is still active but not moving. Oh, Daniel with the big slide. He's going to go ahead and reset. And we don't have time for any more laps, so I think everybody is where they are. Joe Lee's still driving, but he's past his lap, his 3 laps.
There is a 1.2
Logan's driving.
second gap between second and third.
Oh, wow, there is. I didn't even notice that. Here comes Logan. We'll see if he gets a time. He must have got some incident points because none of his previous laps have counted. He does pull a time, but it's a 4-minute flat, which puts him at 16th.
I can sweat my ass off to get that in.
Well, that's unbelievably tight for P1 and 2 on a 4-minute lap. And it looks like we got a pretty decent gap to third with Brandon Dooley, and then Skylar Rabin behind him, or Rabin. Steve Kelly, and then Richard Hibbs is going to be 6th. So currently, as the pro points stand, Richard Hibbs is in the... Oh, session's changing. It's refreshing the screen. There we go. Richard Hibbs is in the lead at 1674. There is a bit of a gap back to Morgan, but there was a race Morgan wasn't here for. We have 2 drop weeks in the 9 rounds.
Good luck, all.
Unfortunately, this list won't show the drop weeks to kind of even out the points.
Yep.
But so where they're currently sitting is going to change quite a bit next week and the week after as the drop weeks fall off. But currently we have Richard Hibbs in first, Morgan in second, Tiago in a close third. Brandon and Chris are close in 4th and 5th, and also Sean already has his 2 drop weeks in, and he's sitting in a 1473. So that's 1473 compared to 1674 for the first, with 2 races as 0, which is pretty incredible. So we're gonna see Sean shoot up in the rankings the next couple weeks, and we're getting ready to go. Let's have a look at the grid. And of course we have the lovely pace truck this week. Uh-oh, what happened to the... Oh no. Oh god. SDK's like broke. The championship points won't get off all the way off the screen. It moves like part of the way.
Fantastic.
There we go. We did another refresh. We might have to refresh it a bunch tonight. I've never had to do that before. So in row 1, we got Sean Ryan Morgan in P2. In row 2, Brandon Dooley, Skylar Rabin. Good quality for Skylar there. Row 3, Stephen Kelly and Richard Hibbs. Row 4, Kerry Brooks, Chris Dowden. Row 5, Tiago And Jolie. Jolie's sneaking up there. Is he the highest amateur? He is the highest amateur tonight. Row, I always lose count. 6. We got Daniel McConnell and Andrew Storzum. Oh, wrong button. There we go. I've done this before. Row 7, we got Mark and Raphael. Row 8, Ryan Phillips, Logan Key. This is where some of more of the amateurs are popping in.
Got someone starting from pit.
We got Ken Chrisman, Austin Louder. In 10, we got Chris Schusler and Francis Paquette. We got Rashawn Trey, Jonathan Reiber, AJ Robest, Marcus Taylor, who's new tonight. And I think that's it. We got 24, right? Yeah. All right, the pace truck is off. And the music's going down. And we're green flag. Sean takes an early lead. Pretty big jump off the start, I would say there. Over Morgan. Stay zoomed out on TV3 here, see if we can cover most all the action. Looks like everybody's already filing out pretty well. Let's have a look back in the chicane there. Everybody's getting through nice and clean. Like we're doing all right. Let's get the gap up here. Oh, we immediately have Skyler right on the tail of Morgan. We'll see how the draft plays out coming down here. This is the 15-minute sprint race. So they're only, since it's such a long lap, they're only going to have like 4 laps. So I'm not sure how aggressive they're going to be through this short race before we go to the 45-minute feature. Oh, I see some smoke in the first chicane there of the straight.
Yep, looked like Austin Louder didn't change his braking zone after getting the draft into the first chicane.
Ah. Oh, we got Morgan side by side with Sean having the inside for the initial turn in. He's going to take it away from Sean for now. Sean will be looking to strike back in this next drafting zone. Let's throw up the track map so we have an idea of where we're at on track, because I do not know this track at all. I literally just bought it tonight so I could do the broadcast. Oh, Sean having a little peek on the outside. All over the bumper. If I was Skyler, I would probably just kind of sit back a little bit and watch these guys duke it out and see if something happens. Oh, Sean's just looking all over any way he can. Ooh, Richard's going a little deep into the gravel out there. Those rumbling Mercs just coming down the straight. Not used to hearing that on league nights. We normally only have 1 or maybe 2 Mercs. I think we got 5 of them tonight. They might be separating a tiny bit. Let's see how they handle the tighter curves here at the end.
Huh?
Yeah. I was trying to bump you up there.
And Morgan seems to be extending the gap.
I have a slowdown, Tiago.
Now we got Brandon Dooley right on the back of Skyler. We'll keep an eye on all the times here. Oh, Raphael's in the pit lane. Wonder what happened there. Ah, that made me miss. I was trying to figure out what was going on with him, and I missed Skyler. Skyler dropping back. Oh, and Ryan Phillips. Chris Schuessler crashed. Let's have a look at that. Oh, Chris just came a little too far across his nose. Ryan didn't really have anywhere else to go. Looked like they're having a good little side-by-side action there.
Sorry, Joe.
Let's have a look at intervals.
I'll get.
So now Brandon Dooley has Richard Hibbs right behind him. It's currently technically the closest battle on track, but there's also another super close one back here with Chris Dowden and Andrew Storzum. Running down the straight together. See a little bit of Skyler and Jolie at the bottom of the screen there too. Oh, Andrew goes side by side. And Chris drives through a cone that apparently doesn't exist because it didn't move. Andrew's going to take it from him. Chris immediately pops out and is trying to get it back. Side by side down this, I guess, short straight. You could call it at this track. The straights aren't very short at all. They're going to be side by side all the way down. Oh, did he get a little loose? I think Andrew may have got a tiny bit loose there. Chris just shuffles in behind him. We're already halfway through our 15-minute race, and we're not even on lap 2 yet. Or haven't completed lap 2, I should say. Scott, oh, something happened to Tiago. A little replay there. What happened to Tiago? Oh, Tiago got big time loose. Wow, what a save. Let's watch that. Let's go to, oh, where's my controls? I don't normally do this. Replay controls, there it is. Let's have a look from the cockpit from Jolie's perspective, because that looked a little terrifying. Jolie does a great job of locking down the brakes and letting Tiago slide and correct it himself without bumping him. All right, back to the action. Richard Hibbs side by side with Sean. What happened to Sean? Why did he drop back? I get busy looking at one thing and suddenly everything happens. Currently, Sean's back to P3. I don't see anything in the notifications. Oh, here's where Richard passed Sean. That's not showing it. Here's where Brandon Dooley passed Sean. Wonder if he just got loose. Oh, did he get a big slowdown? It looked like he was hard on the brakes there. That almost had to be what happened. Well, that's going to be a little bit disappointing for Sean. And he's also got Richard Hibbs right on his tail. Chris Dowden in the background getting a little loose there. That was kind of a cool shot. Sean might be making a little bit of a gap to Richard. No, I think it's just because the speed's so high, it looks a little bigger. We got Joe Lee side by side with Skyler. Last couple weeks, Joe Lee has just been on a absolute tear as a amateurs class. Currently P1 in amateurs in 8th overall with Mark Rondow and Logan Key in 2nd and 3rd amateurs, which are 12th and 13th overall. Now he's got Tiago behind him. Tiago's going to be looking for a way through. And we should be about to start our white flag lap. Oh, Joey goes a little wide into the gravel. Actually ran away quite a bit from Tiago. Did Tiago do a slowdown there?
Nope. A little bit of a slide.
Ah, slide. Must have missed it. So currently our closest battle is between Chris Dowden and Andrew Storzum. I believe Chris has passed him. Yes. And Chris may be running away by the looks of things. Oh, we got AJ Robes coming up on Ken Chrisman. AJ's going to go on the inside. Takes it way inside to make sure there's room. Oh, it looks like Ken has some damage on the front of his car. Kind of surprised being a Porsche that's not meatballed. That looks pretty beat up. Almost looks like a VW Beetle with how pushed in the nose is. How flat the face is.
Okay, thanks for it.
And it currently looks like Morgan has just been able to open up the gap with Sean having whatever incident he had happen. There's about a 2-second gap from P1 to P2. Or sorry, no. There's an almost 5-second gap. That was 2 to 3 was about 2 seconds, which Sean is closing fairly rapidly on Brandon Dooley. This is our last lap. We'll see if
Hey Logan, your fuel door's up. You might want to pull over and shut that.
if Sean will be able to catch up to Brandon. He was able to catch quite a bit in that last sector. We're going to have Morgan crossing the line. After that, he's got one more set of turns. Here comes Brandon. I don't think Sean's going to have time to catch him, but he's been solidly gaining this entire time. So there comes Morgan across the line, taking P1. Brandon comes across P2. We got Sean 3. Richard Hibbs. Sean's not happy about something. Which I assume is self-disappointment. Stephen Kelly in 5th. Kerry Brooks in 6th. Skylar Rabin in 7th. Joe Lee finishing the top AM spot and overall 8th. Tiago coming in 9th. Chris Dowd in 10th. Andrew Storzum 11th. We have Mark Randau in 12th. Logan Key crosses the line in 13th. Ryan Phillips coming to the finish in 14th. He's got some front end damage as well. Got a little group here of AJ Robes, Austin Lauder, Ken Chrisman. Also Marcus Taylor. AJ's going to cross the line with Austin Lauder, Ken Crispin, Marcus Taylor. We have Rashana Trey, Jonathan Reber, and Chris Schusler still out on track. Chris looks like he's got some damage on the front end as well. He's got the VW Beetle look going on with that flattened nose.
All right, that was a pretty good feature, or sorry, sprint there. Enjoy your 10-minute break before we run the 45-minute feature.
So here's the results after Heat 1. I just read them off,
Hey,
but
Dad, sorry for holding you a little bit wide there
we'll
on the,
leave it up on the
power
screen,
thing.
and we'll take a little break during the 10-minute warm-up before the 45-minute feature. And we will be back then.
I almost didn't have fun.
photo, depending on when everyone finishes.
Here we are. Good, and then I want to do a cooldown lap to go. Of course, it didn't have to be at the start-finish. We're getting ready to go in the feature. We got Morgan starting in... Oh, let's get the grid up instead of the results. I mean, it's exactly the same, just a little bit different layout. We got Morgan starting in P1, Brandon in P2, Sean in P3. He's going to be looking to make some positions here off the start, I bet. Try to capitalize from whatever mistake happened last round. I'm still not really sure if he got a slowdown or what happened there. I just saw him hard on the brakes at one point.
Hopefully they do the nice flyover at the start of the race. Since we decided to fly the pace truck
For the feature.
all the way from
we had
Eldora.
to ship the pace truck all the way over. We got Richard Hibbs P4, Stephen Kelly P5, Kerry Brooks P6, Skylar Raven P7, Joe Lee P8. Then rounding out the top 10, we have Thiago Fernandez and Chris Dowden. The pace truck's going to lead them down to the line. Morgan super close to that wall. A little TV3 action here, so it should be zoomed out somewhat. Everybody's formed up and ready to go. Pace truck will be pulling off here. I hear the flyover. I don't see it, but I hear it. There goes the pace truck. Last
There's
second
the flyover.
Last second ditch. And we are going. What a wild start. Oh, we got some mayhem going on back there. Nobody's really wrecked. Chris got pushed around by Marcus. Morgan with kind of a sneaky getaway there. I don't think anybody's expecting him to jump the start at the end of the chicane. It's a big gap with some of the leaders, but did leave Sean open, sneak into P2, unchallenged by Brandon Dooley. And Sean is going to be, if he's not too mad at himself from last round, he's going to be on a mission to hunt down Morgan. We got some great racing going on further back in the field. Chris Dowden's going around, is that Hibbs? Yeah, I believe that's Hibbs. And Stephen Kelly. Further back, we got Brandon Dooley got pushed all the way back into 8th. He was actually back further than that. He just got to 8th.
Thiago got hit with the big old furled flag.
Uh-oh. You get a slowdown?
Yeah, a lot of slowdowns on my phone here.
Oh! Marcus with a big slide out and a hit into the wall.
Shauna's got a black flag, and I'm not sure for what.
Oh, I forgot to turn the music down. Thank you. Thank you, Get Some. I got back last second for the feature and forgot to turn the music back down after the break.
What's your black flag for, Roshana?
They said I cut the cord.
That one may have to stick.
Yeah, I don't know what to do about that one. We got what I would call a gaggle of cars back here in the back.
I would like to refer to them as what you refer to a group of crows, a murder.
We got AJ trying to make a little move on Tiago. Tiago's going to keep him held down in this corner here. We got a whole nother group with Richard Hibbs, Chris Dowden, Steve Kelly, Kerry Brooks, Brandon Dooley, and Joe Lee. Everyone's about a half second from each other, just in a draft train. Skylar Raven way ahead of them, and Sean 3 seconds ahead of that, and he is giving Morgan all he's got. It's great to see Skylar finally out in the front and not caught up in wrecks that aren't his fault. I'm hoping he's having fun up there. Is going to have a good showing this week. I know he's fast, and he has just not had a chance to show it because of everything happening around him. So, looks like his luck may have swung around a little bit this week. Go back to this battle back here. Chris Dowden and Steve Kelly. Then a slightly bigger gap to Kerry. Does Kerry have a little damage on the front of his car? Maybe not.
If that isn't clear in the pit, Roshana, let me know.
Oh no, he does. Kerry has some nose damage. Hopefully he can stay in a draft. Keep it clean. Oh, and Sean is right on the back of Morgan with the draft. Let's see what happens into this chicane. I'm not sure if Sean's going to try to push to actually pass as we have 40 minutes left in the race, or if he's just going to stick to the back of Morgan and for a while and ride it out some.
That arrow push is crazy.
There's really not much
For real.
he can do if he does get by him, because Morgan's just going to be drafting right on the back of him. So it's kind of as long... I would think if I was in their position that as long as we're out in front with nobody bothering us, might as well just keep running away together.
That's a pretty cute thought.
Oh, did Morgan get a slowdown? I saw him on the brakes letting Sean by. Gitsum says he saw Morgan walking around Ryan's car with a hammer in the pits. He's just giving him some speed dimples, just helping him out. Well, I don't know what happened to Sean last race, but he just got a little bit of I wouldn't say karma or justice, but he got something back. Because he was just given first place after Morgan, I assume, had a slowdown. Still got a pretty good race going back in this mid-pack field.
Yeah, it wasn't really way.
From fourth to, well, not really mid-pack, upper mid-pack, maybe? I don't know what you would call it, but it's fourth to eighth. got Stephen Kelly coming around Kerry Brooks. Kerry with the damage on the nose of his car. I would think as long as he's in the draft, he shouldn't notice it too much. It's just the top of the bumper pushed in. But this is a high speed kind of all the way around, so if he can't stay in a draft, he might be hurting. Yes, he does have a spoiler. Although last week, Chris Dowden finished in P3 without one. Oh, Kerry's going for a move on Stephen Kelly. Side by side down the front straight. Looks like he's going to have him into the first little corner there. Brandon Dooley looking to strike next on Stephen Kelly. I wouldn't be surprised if Chris wouldn't mind losing his spoiler on this one with all the straights. I'm not sure what the wing is set up as, but they are running medium downforce and not high downforce like last week on the cars. A little further back, we have Tiago and Andrew Storzum having a bit of a battle. Some Merc on Merc action. Tiago having a little bit of a rough go of it so far this week. He's had some kind of wild slides he's had to save. Major save in the sprint race. It was some great driving to be able to save it. Like they're drafting together around Mark Rondeau, who is currently P2 amateur. Yes, P2 amateur with Joe Lee as the first amateur in 9th overall. He's like 12 seconds up the road. Man, I think Tiago's just pushing Andrew at this point. I don't know if he's gonna, well, he does stick his nose out. I don't know if he's gonna try to pass. Looked like he was just pushing him down the straight. Yeah, I agree. Tiago's had some bad luck in the last couple races. This race was more his own fault because he was just kind of had some slides with nobody around him. Oh, and Kerry, oh, look at this group. Kerry gets around Chris. Oh, and then goes wide. They're all just intermingled. So now we got Chris Dowden leading the pack with Kerry Brooks, then Brandon, and then Stephen Kelly. So Brandon was able to get around Stephen Kelly. Brandon's going to try to go upside Kerry. Stephen Kelly's going to try to follow him through. Kerry holding him on the inside. Brandon's going to have the inside this time, but Kerry gets around. They file out there. Some great racing going on in the midfield here. Nice and clean, too.
I have to slow down, Gary.
Uh-oh, Chris has a slowdown.
10-4, thank you.
People are getting hit hard with the slowdown off that last turn. Or that last section. A little too easy to abuse that corner. I know that feeling too. You know how much you can abuse it, and you hit it at lap after lap after lap, and then you don't even think about it, and the next thing you know, you have a slowdown because you went an inch too far over. You get complacent in it and forget about the repercussions. Now Brandon is all over the back of Kerry, looking to get a position. Here he goes, side by side down the straight. He's got the run. Gets in front of Kerry. I kind of wonder if that's has something to do with Kerry's nose damage. I don't know if Kerry's would be capable of leading this pack with the bit of nose damage he has. He's probably got to have somebody to draft with. Oh, what happened to Andrew? Andrew and Tiago were right next to each other. Now Andrew has dropped back.
Finger missed the damn gear selector.
Yeah, Sean still out in the front with about a 1.5 second gap to Morgan. We're a third of the way through the race. Or almost a third of the way. Got a minute till we're a third of the way. Have a little run down the field here. Skylar's out on his own little island in P3, feeling pretty good, I would say. So got almost a 3-second gap back to Richard, who is currently the points leader, but also is the only one in the lead that doesn't have any missed races, I believe. He's running in P4. Then we got the pack of racers, Brandon Dooley, Kerry Brooks, Stephen Kelly, and Chris Dowden. Fell off the back of them from his slowdown he got. Whoa, we got cars kind of, I don't even know how to explain what I just saw. Stephen Kelly's all over the back of Kerry Brooks. He just looks like he's looking all around. He's going to take him on the inside. Kerry tries to get a run on the next corner. Oh, Brandon just scrapes off the wall. That was a really cool shot right there. Yeah, I think that nose damage isn't doing Kerry any favors. Our great group of racing is splitting up, unfortunately. That's been great to watch. And now Chris is catching up with Kerry. Also, we suddenly have Morgan within a 1/2 second of Sean. I think he's been slowly chipping away in that draft. No. Wait, what? Morgan just blows by Sean. What is going on with Sean? Did he have another slowdown?
Yep, slow down.
Oh man, the slowdowns are nuts on this track. I think if well, right now it looks like if you could just drive the track cleanly without getting a slowdown, you may just win by default. Everybody's just swapping positions because of slowdowns. And yeah, we also have Hibbs closing in on Skyler. Looks like Carrie's still hanging out in front of Chris back there. I tried to point that out with my mouse and then realized that you guys can't see my mouse. Oh, Chris is right on the tail. Less than a tenth behind. Or was coming into the braking zone. Let's have a look a little further back. Jonathan Reber has AJ Robest about a half second behind him, and about another half second we have Ken Chrisman. Looks like Jonathan's connection is doing better. I don't see him constantly disappearing. So I'm glad that got cleaned up. So Ryan Phillips back here having a battle with Raphael. Oh, he is all over him. I thought he was going to get a run there. He didn't quite have the run, had to pull back. This is really just a leapfrog competition, it seems like. Raphael gives him room. Ryan Phillips goes through. Let's have a look at Skyler, because he is running as hard as he can from Richard Hibbs currently. Also, we got about a half second gap from Morgan to Sean. Let's see if all these battles could actually last through the pits. The last few weeks, we've had some great battles going up until pitting, and then ever since then, everybody seems to just kind of break out into their own little sections. Skyler's car already looks really dirty. Kind of interesting. Only been racing 20 minutes. Looks like Chris got around Carey. Let's have a little look how that happened. Oh, it was just down the straight. Nothing special about it. Carey with the disadvantage with that damage to his bumper. Go back to Skyler and Richard here. Skyler seems to be able to hold it down, holding a fairly consistent gap, even down the straights. And I'm going to guess Sean got another slowdown, possibly. The gap to Morgan has opened up to 3 seconds. We need to go over to Freaky Fast and teach those guys how to run a broadcast? Well, you were here when I forgot to turn the music down for the start of the race, right? You want me to teach them? Oh, Richard Hibbs making a little peek on the inside, dropping back. Oh, that must be pretty rough over there if you're asking us to go show them how to do it.
I haven't done anything this whole time.
That's right. Yeah, this has been pretty chill. You should be commentating more. Not too much going
Oh,
on.
if only you knew, sir. If only you knew.
Also had SDK have a couple hiccups and have to refresh it tonight, which I've never had to do. Luckily, it's hanging in there now. This everybody's kind of split up. This by far, this is the closest race we have. Oh, we got Morgan coming into the pits. Sean Ryan following right in as well. No over under kind of play on the pits. We got Skylar and Richard and Brandon. Everybody's coming in on the same lap. Stephen Kelly. Everyone's turning down. Did everybody just go till they were empty and couldn't go anymore? I've never seen literally everyone come down the pits. Tiago's flashing Joe Lead coming into the pits. All right, let's see how these shake out. Somebody could possibly gain some time. We're having a look at Morgan here.
Gary's getting tires.
Oh, Sean's away. Sean with a big jump out, like by about 5. Total pit lane time is about 7 seconds over Morgan. Maybe Sean's looking for a little extra time for slowdown penalties in there. Skylar still beats out Richard Hibbs. They're kind of just back in the battle they've been in this entire time. Brandon Dooley's out next, with Stephen Kelly behind. Chris Dowden and Kerry Brooks right behind him. Kerry's going to be back in the action with a fast repair fixing that nose. We got Joe Lee and Tiago coming back out in the same order they went in. Mark Rondell. Ryan Phillips going up the inside of Andrew Storzum. And Raphael. Jonathan Raber coming out of the pits. Austin Lauder currently in the pits. Look how he's getting his tires changed. It's jacked up there. AJ Robest is coming through. He's already been to the pits. Some of these have already been to the pits because they had early incidents. Well, that's quite the turn of events. Morgan had about a 3-second lead, and now Sean has about a 2.5-second lead on Morgan, just from the pitting scenario. We're currently looking at Skylar and Richard Hibbs. Although, let's take a quick look at Kerry Brooks. I'm interested, with his nose repaired, if he's going to be on the tail of these guys fighting back now that he's not at a disadvantage.
After this lap, I'd assume he wouldn't be. Because he got tires. Maybe not.
Who got tires?
Gary.
Oh.
His car was the only one I saw jacked up.
No, yeah, he's got the same pit time as pretty much everyone else. At least everybody in 1 through 10th?
I guess it does tires and fuel at the
11th.
same time, so
1
maybe
through
they needed
11th.
to take on more fuel than it took her tires.
Yeah, compared to everyone, Morgan had an unusually long pit time. I wonder if he forgot to set fuel and took a full tank, maybe? Literally everyone is about 21 to 22 seconds, and Morgan was at 26 and a half. Also, Sean taking tires and leaving the pits was about a second faster than anyone else in full pit lane time. Have a good night, get some. Oh, Richard Hibbs gets around Skylar while I'm the absolute instant I'm not paying attention. Skylar's coming back. Isn't quite able to keep it alongside. Richard's gonna have him through this last sector before the start finish. Tiago catching up to Joe Lee. Getting by, going it. Oh, that's got to be a slowdown, right? Tiago was so far inside that turn. Maybe not. I don't see him slowing down. I don't know if that was just camera angle, but he looked like he was way out of bounds.
Tiago does have a slowdown just cleared it.
Ah.
Carrie's got one now.
Oh, no. Kerry got one?
Carrie's had 2 since he pit.
Man. Now we got Sean with a 4-second lead over Morgan. I don't know if Morgan had another slowdown in there somewhere. I'm not sure why it doesn't tell me about slowdowns in here. I have all the records turned on. I would use iRace Control more, but I need a monitor that's not like halfway across the room to look at. Now that Richard's around Skylar, we'll see if Skylar will be able to fight back using some of this draft here. Definitely right on his tail. I don't know if he'll be able to make a move on one of these corners. Some pretty good racing to be able to stay that close together through a braking zone and some turns. Uh-oh. And Ryan Phillips crashed. Let's have a little replay of that. What happened to Ryan?
Porsche things.
Oh, yep. Porsche doing Porsche things. Oh, he almost kept it out of the wall. Almost. That was close. So with that slowdown, that's going to put Brandon Dooley right on the tail of Richard. So suddenly, Skylar's getting away a little bit scot-free there for now. And Richard's going to have to fight off Brandon. Let's have a little ride along in Brandon's car. I should probably find the actual camera button I want before I say that. There we go. It's like, let's have a ride along and wait 20 seconds before I switch cameras. Well, this is a good point to start, too. We can just watch through the lap. Just crossing the start-finish right there. As you can see, no real punishment besides slowdowns for taking the inside of a lot of those turns. So they're kind of free to do as much as they dare. There's no actual real sausage curbs or anything to really protect it. And here's the long drive down the straight. Let's throw up the track map so we can see where we're at. The first little chicane. And then another long drive down the straight. I can see why this is really a proving grounds during the 24-hour of just the reliability of the cars that they put on track, because this is the highest load, highest heat, everything for the motor. Brandon Dooley's going down the inside of Richard and gets him. Let's have a little replay of that in an outside camera so we can actually see what happened. So he's just down the straight, so nothing too special about it, but he gets on the inside right before you turn in. Goes a little wide there. I'm gonna guess that was probably an off track. I haven't ever actually driven this track, so I wouldn't be able to tell you. Oh no, and Andrew Storsum has crashed. Have a look there. Oh! Just goes around on him. Got a little upset on the suspension. Got a little upset on the curbing there. Just kind of threw him around. Well, Richard and Brandon are really going at it here, and I bet Skylar is just loving it. Just trying to get the run to keep going. Keep letting them out there. And I'm wondering if Sean got a slowdown, because Morgan seems to be rapidly approaching.
Nope, no slowdown on my end.
No slowdown? I'm not sure where they're at. Oh, they're through the last twisty sector, but Morgan has gained. Is still gaining. He's up to like a second gained in just the last sector and starting into the new lap. So something definitely was going on there. And Morgan throws in the fastest lap of the race at a 53:24. Sean with a 54:47. So that was quite the gain that lap. Well, he must have found some extra grip in that last sector or something. He just gained like crazy. he could get a little bit closer, he'll be within drafting range down these long straights. We might finally get, possibly at the end of this, we might finally get the Sean and Morgan battle we've all been waiting for 2 seasons. Got Raphael in the pits right now. I think he had a earlier pit, so he's probably having to make a second pit to get fuel to make the end of the race. And I don't know if it's just been slowdowns or what, but everybody's really split up now. The race between 1 and 2 is just over a second apart, and that's the closest race on track currently. I am reading that right? Yeah, Brandon's been slowly driving away from Richard. We'll see if Brandon is able to catch up to Skylar by the end. We only have about 6 minutes to go. Krista, everybody's kind of evenly gapped out here. Morgan's bringing it into almost a second now. He's gained a couple more tenths. They're coming around close to the finish. Depending on when they cross the line, this could be final lap. Or white flag lap.
Probably going
I
to go
should
around
say.
one more time.
Yeah, is it going to be white flag next lap? It's pretty tight on the timing.
They'll hit it.
It's either going to go white flag or are we able to sneak a peek at Barney here and see what he's waving?
No wave.
No wave. Yeah, they crossed the line with 5 to go. They just barely have time for 2 more laps. So we are 2 to go with Morgan closing in. He's now 8 tenths. Actually now 7.
I sure hope we rented the track for enough time.
Yeah, we might go long. They might be trying to kick us off track before we get done. And Sean pulls that gap back open just a little bit. It's kind of interesting and surprising to me that P1 and P2 are the closest battle on track right now for the last couple laps. We have a few people running their fastest laps on the last lap.
Looks like Dewey's starting to catch Skylar.
Yeah, he's been just kind of slowly gaining on him. Morgan's within a half second. They got about a lap and a half left. All right, they are together. This is go time. Sean has a little bit of a connection issue there, popping out of existence for just a split second. As Is this the showdown we've been waiting to see for 2 seasons? Finally about to happen? We'll see if they get to any lap traffic at all.
They're very close to lap traffic. Or at least one.
Yeah, there is one they're getting close to. Morgan doesn't have any place to go for that one. He's gonna hang out, chasing him down through that right-hander there. They got a little bit of a straight here. They are getting close to catching Rashana. Oh, Morgan's looking for an opening. I think this is the closest these guys have really been able to race all season. We've had some moments where they kind of started to get to battle, and then something would happen to one or the other, and it would never really work out. Hopefully they can keep it clean through this last little bit and not get any slowdowns this time. I'm wondering if their slowdowns have kind of evened out. All right, Morgan's going for the inside, coming off that first corner. Side by side, going down into the first chicane. A little tiny touch maybe. They are close. Sean's going to hold on to it for now. We have all eyes on the leader right now. Not much else is going on track. Everybody's kind of settled into their positions. Morgan throws in a best lap of 52.81 that lap. Of course, having strong draft with Sean the whole way around. And if you want to draft to get a fast lap, Sean is definitely one to be behind. We don't give any points for fastest lap, but he will get a mention next race. Oh, what happened to Sean? He went on the inside. Does he have fuel problems? What is going on?
He overcooked it a bit. And gotta slow
I saw
down.
your trajectory. I would have gave you room. Didn't have to bail that hard out.
Oh, he was just making sure
Yeah.
he wasn't going to cause an incident. I see. Oh, that's where they passed. He passed. We want to see this pass.
Yeah, that was fun.
Well, not too much to see there.
I don't think goddamn garbage.
We were waiting for the big battle showdown coming down to the final turn, but it looks like we're not going to get it at this point. Morgan is opening up a massive gap to Sean. I'm wondering if Sean's almost out of fuel or something. We did finally get Brandon Dooley catching up to Skylar Revin. get a nice little last lap battle between these two. Richard Hibbs in the background getting a little bit of loose off that curbing there. The next closest battle we have going on is Tiago behind Kerry Brooks. Tiago currently sitting in the position he started the race in. Checkered flag is out. And Sean is caught by Skyler. Sean has to be coasting on light fuel or something. He does take P2 though. That was right at the very end there. Then we got Skyler, we got... Wait, what? Oh, there we go. Yep. Richard, Stephen Kelly, Chris Dowden, Kerry Brooks, Tiago. So that must have been... Was that white flag lap then? I thought we still had another one to go. Did I just time travel? Is that what happened?
I think you did.
I think I did. So Morgan, Sean, Skyler, amateurs, it looks like we have Jolie, Mark Rondow, and Jonathan Reber.
Looks like we only have about 4 minutes, 4.5 minutes, and everyone's coasting. I don't know if we're going to get that picture.
Well, we got Jolie and Mark Rondow parked next to each other. Is everybody crossed the line yet?
No.
No. Yeah, we got... Jonathan's still coming.
He's still on his... Well,
He's finishing now. Got Raphael coming up. Ryan Phillips is coming around the straight. Austin Louder's still
Great race, guys. Super sweaty.
there.
Lots of fun battles. Well done. Yeah, good one throughout. Don't have enough fuel to get back around though. That 2x2 almost in the Porsche curve is the one lap.
That's why I stopped and waited.
That was fun, Terry.
I still think we should have the cooldown lap.
Yeah, agreed, buddy.
If you run out of fuel on cooldown lap, you're penalized. That would have made an interesting ending for this one.
Possibly.
I don't know if we have enough spin time left for everyone to get around.
Everyone doesn't have enough fuel to get around.
It's gonna be tight.
Chrisman.
Well, tight for
Well, Jonathan's off
two people,
track.
my relative.
Yeah, podium pictures may be hard to work out in this one with the limited time and fuel being such a long track. But it looks like we got Jolie, Mark Rondow, and Jonathan Reber for P1, 2, and 3 in AMs. And of course, Morgan, Sean, and Skyler in P1, 2, and 3 for the pros.
I got 10th of a gallon, and I'm at Porsche curve. I'm trying to get there.
3/10 liter right behind him.
I'll make sure to actually save the replay this week so I can get some form of screenshots.
And I'm outing first. Almost made it.
You need a good friend like Dooley.
I just need a friend. Just a friend.
Dooley's out though.
Rip.
Here comes Morgan. He made it. Made it around.
I'm just coasting up.
It's like
Well, go on without me.
Sean's gonna come on back and meet him. Mark's backing up. Can't quite make it, can't quite make it. This is actually a decent...
That's as far as it's gonna make it.
Yeah, sorry, I should have stopped right after.
Oh, we got a decent little spot here. This should work. Thank you, guys.
All right, do your burnout, Morgan.
0 fuel.
Yeah, he just rolled in.
All right, good race. Good race, everybody. Whoever's still here. It's still like the devil's armpit where I'm at. So if you have anything you want me to take a look at, send me a message tomorrow, and I'll take a look at it when I have some time. Thanks.
Thanks, Will.
All right, we will...
Thank you, Will and Brian. That was fun. Had another good one.
get some
Yep, agreed.
results
Thank you, guys.
laid out
Lot of
here.
fun.
That's Heat 1 results. I do that every time. The feature results
Thanks,
out
guys.
here.
Good race.
We'll say goodbye to our co-host so he can get out of the heat. And we'll pull some people in for interviews. I guess we'll go ahead and start with Sean because he's sitting in there by himself currently. I don't see anybody else popping in yet. We'll go ahead and grab Sean. Hey, Sean, are you there?
Yeah, hey man.
You're the only one sneaking in for interviews so far, it looks like. So it looked like kind of a showdown of who can get less slowdowns tonight. With everyone just seemed slowdowns would be flying left and right.
Yeah, I threw it away a little bit. I don't know. I would lose the concentration every few corners because I was, mentally complaining to myself about my pedals.
Oh,
Again, I'm gonna use that excuse again. But when you go into the corner and you don't know whether or not your throttle's gonna hang 5% on you in the braking zone or not, it's
oh yeah, I forgot we had
sucks.
talked about that a little bit the other day.
I thought I had fixed it. I did a bunch of work. I took my pedals apart. I sprayed some air into the potentiometer. I even have a little bit of paper wedged up against the pedal right now to push it like 5% forward, so it's not like at the absolute maximum throw of the potentiometer. I have the range set, so from 0 to 255 I'm only using 20 to 200, so I'm only using like, I'm losing like
Oh yeah,
20% of my
pretty big
throttle
range,
throw,
yeah.
and it's still flickering. And you know, I had it at the start of the race, after, like in the heat it was doing it. I fixed it during the warm up, and then after like a couple laps it started doing it again. So I'm over it. I'm over. I did everything, you know, I could, but just mentally I wasn't able to fight through it.
Yeah, that's a tough thing to hold out with that kind of stuff going on. On the last lap, were you getting low on fuel? What?
No,
Or is that-
no, I'm just sad.
Oh, okay. So you had
I
you had a big
plenty of
enough
fuel.
gap that. Okay. Yeah, I just saw you falling off, and I wasn't sure if maybe you went a little light on fuel in the pit stop or what was going on.
Nope.
So.
Nope, saved fuel in the first stint. Got out in front of Morgan by 4 seconds. Was ready to win.
Yeah, he actually had by about everyone that took tires and did a full pit stop, he was about 6 or 7 seconds slower full pit lane time than anyone
Yeah.
else. It was kind of surprising. His actual stop was about 5 seconds longer.
Yeah, I don't know why.
I don't know if he
but, I
accidentally took
mean,
full fuel or something.
Maybe. I mean, I ended the race in total with 70% as my worst tire, so there was no need to take tires really. I mean, maybe
Oh, yeah.
he was faster than me at the end. Maybe he took tires and maybe it was beneficial for him, but it's just kind of sucky. I mean, I had the gap comfortably, and then I picked up one more slowdown at the end of the race because I started noticing my throttle kicking in again, and then picked one up at the chicane or something like that. I don't know, it's stupid. But anyway, I'm not gonna complain too much anymore. I just kind of wanted to come in, take an interview, and kind of give my congrats to Morgan. I am officially, mathematically, it's impossible for me to win the championship now. If I win the rest of the races and Morgan gets second place throughout, then he still takes it. So it's out of my hands. So
Well, you still put on a hell of a show for having some pedal issues. And
yeah, I try.
we were hoping we're finally going to get the big grand Morgan and Sean showdown on those last couple laps there. It was looking like it was about to happen.
Yeah.
And then the
yeah.
equipment kind of said no, unfortunately, but
Yeah. So,
congrats on the P2 for the feature.
Yep.
Great
Yeah,
finish.
we'll keep showing up. We'll keep pushing. We'll keep fighting. But it's gonna take some mistake on Morgan's end now, or
Yep.
some bad luck.
We will see what happens.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for the interview, and we will catch you later.
Yeah. Have a good one, bud.
Hey, Morgan.
Hey,
So that was quite the race you guys had going on there towards the end. Sounds like Sean had a little bit of equipment issues with his throttle pedal, but we were hoping for the big Morgan and Sean showdown there at the very end, and then he kind of got in some trouble and just kind of gave out to the gap he had there.
yeah, I apparently was determined to throw that race away because I got a off track early on, which is how he initially got ahead, and then when I took P1 back in the pits, I was stupid, and I didn't trust crew chief on fuel a lot because I saw it was trying to put a full tank in. I was like, "There's no way. That can't be right." And because of that, I just lost track of what I was doing. So he got out ahead of me, and then
Oh, so
managed
that
to get
okay.
in.
We were wondering
Yeah,
what took the extra time.
Yeah, I didn't take tires. I was trying to figure out fuel like on the fly, which is never great.
No.
And then when chasing him down, managed to get another off track, which I love how these 1.2 second off tracks really add up to 2 or 3 seconds.
Yeah,
But,
they're usually closer to 3.
yeah, they're pretty brutal. But it looked like Sean got an off track there towards the end, which gave me a chance to get in a little closer, get in the draft, and then it was on.
Yeah, that was a definitely a great showdown at the end. Yeah, it kind of seemed like almost a battle of attrition of just who could get the least amount of slowdowns for kind of everybody all around, all throughout the field. Seemed like that was kind of the common thread of the show.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough at this track to respect the barrier or the track limits, and unless you put in a ton of practice to where it's almost muscle memory, it's hard to just jump in the day of and manage to not get one of those.
Yeah, I've noticed. I haven't ever driven this track, at least not in iRacing, and I noticed a lot of the insides of the corners are just open with no real barrier or anything to punish you besides getting that invisible penalty that you don't know exactly where it's going to happen. So.
Yep. So thankfully, I do the 24-hour Le Mans every year, albeit in the GTPs, but at least I know where the off tracks are. Whether I can not hit them is another thing, but at least I know where they are.
Yeah, it kind of seems like if you do it lap after lap after lap, kind of abusing the track limits, you might get a little bit complacent, and then you're not paying attention, and suddenly it just kind of sneaks up in there.
Yeah, but I will take that result, and I am super pumped. Draft or not, I saw a 352 was possible, and I may never drive this place in a GT3 car again because I don't think I'll ever be able to replicate that lap.
That was an absolute smoking lap we saw pop in on the lap timings as we were watching the race.
Yeah, but shout out to Sean. I mean, he was flying. He definitely put up a heck of a fight. I'm kind of bummed out that it went down the way it did at the first Mulsanne chicane, but it's racing, so we'll see what happens next one.
Yeah, hopefully we'll finally get this real Morgan and Sean showdown that everybody wants to see. Through all the broadcasts, they've been wanting to see that since last season, and it almost was about to happen and just hasn't quite got there. But maybe we'll get there eventually. And
we had a couple corners of it.
Oh yeah, there was a little bit of it, but we're waiting for it to come down, on the final lap there. But yeah, congrats on the P1, and we'll see you hopefully, I guess not next week because we'll be on break, but the week after for the Nürburgring, the Grand Prix.
Well, thank you very much. Looking forward to it.
Yep. Hey, Chris, are you there?
I am. Can you hear me?
Yeah,
How are you?
we got you. We're doing all right. We just got done talking to Morgan and Sean. I haven't seen anybody else pop in.
Yeah, it's quiet.
It's weirdly quiet night, which is fine by me. I can get out of here a little earlier, but I saw you were in
Right.
there, so I wanted to say hi.
I'll just chat for a second. I don't have too much exciting. It was a super fun race. I really like this track. Believe it or not, I did practice just a touch over the weekend. I was messing with Race Lab apps, and I was like, you know what? Let me load up, Le Mans, where we're going to be on Tuesday, to test some of them out. So I was driving it, and it's a nice little track. I like it.
Yeah, I haven't actually driven it in. I know I haven't driven it in iRacing because I just bought it tonight, so I could do the so I could add it in the race.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I've actually really driven it in anything, even like way back in the
Console gaming.
kind of console, more arcade stuff.
Yeah. I was thinking that might be kind of fun to do. Well, I don't know. We'd have to test it out, but I wonder if that would be fun, like as a night race. You know, because there's no lighting. It would
Oh,
all just
yeah.
be, you know,
Yeah,
headlights. Might be a different spin on the whole thing.
Legit kind of
No pun
24-hour
intended.
race. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, it was fun. I got turned around right in the beginning. I got just a little nudge from someone.
Yeah, I saw that. It was
Whatever.
it was kind of a wild beginning. Morgan,
was.
Morgan had a big jump on the end of the chicane. I don't think anybody was expecting him to jump right there, and everybody kind of balled up, and then it kind of went back through the field, and yeah, it was action packed. That's for sure.
I saw that on the replay. I wanted to see, you know, my replay in the beginning. I couldn't tell if I just, you know, had my foot on the gas and it spun me, or if I got nudged. And it could have been a combination of both, honestly. You know, cold tires, hitting the gas and spinning. But I did get bumped and kind of turned around. So
Yeah, there
you know,
definitely was
whatever, it
a little
happens.
bump
It's
there. Yep.
not a big deal, but it put me about 10 seconds behind the pack. So I had some work to do in the beginning, but it was fun. I made up a couple positions. Some other drivers went off the track, and then they disconnected. So I kind of regained a couple spots, but
Mhm.
it was a good time. I was trying to figure out, like I said, I was messing with Race Lab apps, and one of the things I finally put up was the fuel calculator. So I was like, all right, let me mess with this thing, and in one of the, you know, the settings, you can say like, well, how much extra fuel do you want? Like how many extra
yep.
laps of fuel do you want, or something like that. So I said, you know
Mhm.
what? Getting used to this and figuring it out, let me put 2 extra laps of fuel, so that when it comes in and fuels me, I should have enough plus 2 extra laps. So I was driving and came in for my pit stop, and I took tires and I got my fuel. And I thought, all right, I should be good to go for sure, because I should have enough fuel plus the 2 extra laps of fuel. And then I'm driving it, and I realize it's white flag, and I'm not gonna make it around again. So
Oh, no.
I'm guessing just the car didn't have enough, maybe, and there wasn't enough to get, you know, 2 extra laps worth of fuel into the car. That's probably it. But
Probably not. Yeah.
yeah, so I had to come back in a second time, probably just because I wasn't managing fuel as well as some of the other drivers. So yeah, so I pitted twice for fuel.
Oh, okay.
But it was a good time. I really enjoyed the race. It was quiet on the radio, so I assume everyone just had their head down and was really, you know, focused and concentrating on, you know,
Yeah, there was
doing a good drive.
There was quite a bit of really close racing in a couple different packs of. I mean, there's 2 different packs of like 4 or 5 cars each pack for a while there that were having really solid close racing. Then of course through the pit stops, that's all kind of gets split up a little bit. But
Was it good racing overall? I mean, was it a nice, like, clean race tonight?
yeah, it was pretty clean from what I saw. I mean,
Good.
like I know you got bumped a little bit on that start there that shoved
Just
you
the
around.
beginning. Yeah.
And the beginning was a little bit all over the place for the feature. The beginning to the sprint was super clean, and a lot of the spins I think were self spins. Yeah, it seemed pretty dang clean to me.
Good. Well, I won't keep you on this thing too long. I had a good time tonight. It was a fun race, and I'll be back tomorrow night for our NASCAR race.
That's
at,
right, for the Oval.
Nashville.
I always mention the next week road race, but I always forget to mention the Oval race.
Where
all
are we
these
next week in our
broadcasts.
road race? Where are we?
We will be next week is that off week, but the next race is at Nürburgring, the Grand Prix circuit of Nürburgring.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll see you on track tomorrow at Nashville.
Yeah, I will see you there.
Okay. Good time tonight. Thanks again for everything, okay?
Yep. Thanks for the chat.
Yeah, take care of yourself.
All right, we're gonna grab Skylar here. Hey, Skylar, are you there?
I am. Do you have me?
Yeah, we got you.
Wanted to pop in and say thanks, since I think this is the first time I was like, oh, I feel like I want to just come and say hi.
Yeah, you got a P3, so you can come up to the interview booth here.
Yeah, I finally did not spin at the beginning of one of the feature races. I'm very happy to finally get that gremlin off my back.
We were me and also Get Some was watching chatting a little bit, and we were both happy to see you up front because I know you can. I've seen your lap times. I know you can be fast, but it just seems like the races you've been in so far, you've kind of had just some bad luck of. I mean, you might have had some self spins, but it seemed like a lot, especially the first race, it was a lot of other people making mistakes, and you just happened to be caught in the middle of it.
Yeah, it happens. I mean, that's kind of the fun sometimes is, having to do the recovery drive. So I've had a really good time throughout this, and I think this race was another good example of how much fun I've had running in this league. Everyone's pretty respectful and clean. A lot of very sensible driving. A lot of, especially compared to some of the official series. It's
Yeah.
nice.
It's a whole
nice
nother
breath of
world
fresh air.
usually compared to the official series.
Yeah. So I mean, and I was really excited to make Le Mans. Not a lot of leagues that I've run in for road stuff are willing to run Le Mans. I don't know why, but it's my favorite track, and I was super pumped to be able to come out here, and I had a really good fun run, and I'm glad it all worked out pretty well.
Yeah, you had some pretty good battles there with Brandon. And
yeah, I throughout the
was-
entire back end, I was just like, Brandon's in the draft range, just trying to manage the number and just make sure, all right, if I can get to the end of the final lap at Indy with an 8/10 gap, I think I have this. And sure enough, I was able to manage. Although Sean gave me a real scare there at the end when he's there in the middle of the Ford chicane.
Yeah, he had a little bit of throttle pedal trouble, and he knew he had a bit of a gap there, and he just kind of had given up apparently, and he was going pretty slow. I was starting to wonder there too at the very end watching that. It was getting close.
Yeah, I mean, I was like, okay, this is fine. He's not going to bleed that much time. And then we entered the first part of the Ford chicanes right there at the end. I'm like, I'm catching him very quickly. Oh God.
Yep.
How slow is he? We made it through okay. So
we were wondering if he was out of fuel or something, but
it was definitely surprising how much fuel management came in towards the end there. I was really not expecting us to use, I was thinking there for a second we might even have to take a second stop just because of how close we were. But
yeah, and all the long amounts of full throttle at that track as well.
Yeah, and Morgan and Sean were so quick that I was almost scared. Is there a chance that we end up having to do the extra lap? In which case, I think we were all going to be in trouble. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. I caused myself my own trouble in the heat, but the feature start, there was a spin. I'm not sure who spun on the outside at the start, but it really opened the door, and there was plenty of room to just jump in there and try and catch up, and I had a lot of clean air for most of that race.
Yeah, well, congrats on the P3, and glad to finally see you up there. We knew you could run up there for sure. Just you finally got there. It's good to see you.
The fates finally cooperated. Thanks. Thanks again to all y'all for putting this together. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, no problem. I'm just glad you're enjoying it. Yep,
looking forward to the Nürburgring and finishing out the season strong.
Yep, should be hopefully Nürburgring and Monza will be a good time.
Monza's always good. So
be a good season finale, hopefully.
Yes. But thanks a lot, and I'll let you get out of here. Thanks again.
All right. Yep, thanks for having a chat. All right, so there we go. That's gonna do it for us. Do we have anything to clean up? I guess the only thing we have to clean up is next week is a break week. So we will be no broadcast for us or the Oval League that's on Wednesday. The week after that, we will be back with Nürburgring Grand Prix track. We're doing the WEC layout, I believe. Then the week after that, we will be hitting up Monza for the season finale. Points are going to be changing up like crazy because the drop weeks are going to be coming into effect these last 2 weeks. And besides that, we have Oval Race broadcast tomorrow. It is at Nashville Super Speedway. Is that what they call it? I don't know. It's the bigger Nashville track, which is not broadcast here. If you're a member of the Six Sigma Discord, you will see the broadcast links in there. It's put on by PTM Racing, but it's broadcast on Facebook, and then the recording goes up on YouTube. Don't ask me why, because I don't know. Not affiliated. Anyways, thanks for coming out, and we will see you in 2 weeks.